Good morning, everyone. It is Palm Sunday. It is the beginning of Holy Week. It is not the beginning of Holy Week that any of us would ever have imagined. And yet here we are together, the community of Regis and the extended members of that community. We begin a 4-day reflection. This morning for Palm Sunday, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday. We begin these reflections thinking about the situation we find ourselves in and how can our faith help us to manage it in a better and creative way. There's no easy way around this, but there is a way through it. And each and every one of us, as members of the Regis College community and the greater community of faith, looks for those things. So Palm Sunday I've always sort of characterized as in the category of religious schizophrenia. It's kind of two abrupt ways in which people were called to deal with life, and they didn't have much of a choice, but they entered into it and they embraced it. And the schizophrenia is this. The beginning of the celebration of Palm Sunday is what? It's the waving of the palm and welcoming Jesus, because what's he going to do? He's going to save us. It's all over. Finally, it's going to happen. And he marches off from the Mount of Olives to Jerusalem, and what happens? A radical change. From the welcome and the rejoicing and the partying, if you will, to the reality of crucifixion and death, his condemnation. What a radical change. Does it remind you of anything we're going through these days? Little did we know as we begun the spring season, and we were thinking about all of the ways in which we were going to embrace the academic celebrations of our school, all of the ways in which we were going to embrace the wonderful religious ceremonies, the first communions, the confirmations, the weddings, the baptisms, the ways in which we welcome our God so well. And all of a sudden, we've been stopped. We've gone from the palm to the crucifixion. And we need to continue to travel that road and find ways in which our faith can enable us, our faith can strengthen us, and our faith can help us to move forward. So it is a day of spiritual or religious schizophrenia, the waving of the palm and the carrying of the cross. Totally, radically different. And you and I are both involved in those experiences. So the questions remain. How do we wave the palm? What are the ways in which we embrace one another? The ways in which we encourage one another? The ways in which we reach out to one another? The ways in which we touch one another? We are all out there. And modern communication allows us to touch one another. So let's wave the palm where we need to wave it so that life can be different, not only for us, but those in our world that we can reach out to. Now, the carrying of the cross is a different thing. And what are the ways in which we are called to carry that cross? When we are alone, when we are afraid, when we don't know what's going to happen, when we suddenly feel ill. How do we carry that cross? The early church was able to do it because their faith carried them, not in the ways in which we might choose, but in the ways in which things had to happen. So let us be grateful for this week we call holy. It may be holy, but not in the very positive and uplifting way that we often experience it. But it is holy in that our God chooses to be a part of our lives. Let's be grateful for the ability to wave the palm. Let's be challenged by the ways in which we are asked to carry that cross. So in that light, let us pray. Loving God, give us joy in our hearts as we shout hosannas, welcoming Jesus with palms, celebrating all that we hope for as the Easter story unfolds. Then, as the journey of Jesus turns towards Good Friday, help us to know you are with us. When celebration turns to sadness, give us the faith we need to follow you on the way of the cross, which leads to new life. Please join us for our celebration on Thursday of Holy Thursday.